pursuing our study goals in our academic literacy. Our emphasis is still on reading skills, but we are free to move back and forth into writing. And we're going to also take this as a discursive moment.
My expectations are getting to know more about paraphrasing, because in the previous assessment, I challenges regarding paraphrasing, referencing. Yes, I would like to get to know how to paraphrase and more especially referencing. Thank you.
Okay, I note that, Santa, on paraphrasing, I got that. Anyone else? Thank you, Santa.
My expectations for this lesson, I want to take away from like inciting, referencing also, because I didn't know how to do it also, because I did research and then after that I just took my own words. I didn't reference. So I want to know how we incite, even though we didn't quote anyone. And then also paraphrasing.
Yeah, your concerns are same as that of Nhlanhla. Okay,
yeah.
Is there anything else?
Nah, nothing else.
Okay, Trifin. Appreciate it.
I prepare Moronga. I prepare Moronga. My African name, Moronga.
Morona. Okay, Morona. Thank you, Morona. We appreciate Morona. We'll use the word. We'll use the one that says Morona. Okay, because I see there's another one there. Okay, but take it's noted. Thank you. I appreciate it. At least I want to make sure by the end of this tutorial, you know, I have also addressed your challenges, your concerns. It cannot just be a top-down kind of a thing where I just bring in my presentation and you guys just follow. No. We want to engage in a discussion. Right. Thank you, Moronga. I appreciate the Moronga. Right. Anyone else? Just put your hand down, Moronga. Well done there. Anyone else? May you raise your hand again if there is anything that is related to this module, especially the academic part. Try to give me issues that have the academic part and not the administrative part. Okay.
Wow.
Right, and may you please mute. Thank you. Right, can I get another comment? We are at a stage now where we're just going to start our discussion, but I'm going to use a question and answer approach today. I'm not going to be explaining or defining or preaching. I think I've preached enough. Today, I want us to be as practical as possible. And I also want everyone to feel free to contribute, to comment, and to make this discussion as lively as possible. Okay, so what you have mentioned there is issues that have to do with reading. We did talk about paraphrasing in our previous discussion. We also did refer to in-text referencing. Right. I just want somebody who was in our previous discussion to just explain briefly before I add to what each one of you has to say. Right. May you comment if you were in our previous discussion? We did comment on paraphrasing. Does somebody want to explain what that refers to? You may quickly search it if you have a dictionary. Just search it now and then just tell us. So in your summary, we said you are writing the main ideas. What are the main ideas of what you were reading? What are the main ideas? And remember now, that summary is in your own words. Okay, so you'll see that the paragraph will have a clear theme. So what you do is to just go to that paragraph and you write what is the central idea in your own words. In most cases, it must be your own words. You rewrite the same idea in your own words. Now take note now that paraphrasing and summarizing are not fundamentally different. Only that when you paraphrase, paraphrasing has to do with the changing each sentence into your own words, or a phrase into your own words, but maintaining the same idea. So I can say with a paraphrase, you are dealing with a shorter text, which you are changing into your own words. Whereas with a summary, you have been reading a longer text, maybe that has 2 or 3 paragraphs, then you now have to condense it into a specific number of words. And I'm sure when you did your matric, you went through this summarizing skills. You did that. But on paraphrasing, okay, I can give a sentence and say, for example, let's just get a sentence that is more popular in South Africa. There is no easy walk to freedom. Right. You are paraphrasing this one. Right. You might want to simply say, it is not easy to be free. Right. So there's no easy walk to freedom. You may want to say, it is not easy to be liberated. Right. I've just taken my own words. I've tried as much as possible not to repeat this statement, which is not mine. There is no easy walk to freedom. It belongs to the former late South African president, Nelson Mandela. These are his words. So we are not going to change. We are not going to take them as they are. We are going to change the words and maintain the same idea. Take note now, we cannot all paraphrase it the same way. I have said it's not easy to be liberated. What would you say? Anyone can raise their hand and tell me what they would say. What would you say in that instance? I say there is no easy walk to freedom. Change this into your own words and maintain the same idea. Don't be scared. No, you know this. You have got the language. You know how to communicate. Just feel free, right? So maybe you substitute the word easy. You substitute the word freedom. You substitute obviously the negative no. But of course, we know that when you're paraphrasing, sometimes you might want to just change 1 or 2 words. It's still okay, right? Why do we need to paraphrase? I think I said the reason why we paraphrase, we want to reduce the similarity index when we submit our academic work. What is the similarity index? If you take your piece of academic writing and you run it through an online program that detects plagiarism.
That's good. Oh.
I hear somebody talking, please.
Sorry.
May you please mute? Yeah. May you please mute? Hello. May you please mute? Somebody's mic is unmuted. Thank you. Thank you. That is appreciated. Okay, so that is okay. Maybe I have to give you a few sentences here that I would expect you to paraphrase, just to make sure we are all on the same page. Remember, I said these are your note-taking skills. Okay, so try. Let's see. Here is my first one. You may want to paraphrase that one and raise your hand. Then I'll write the other one. Right. I might say the entire air was filled with despair. Okay. I just thought about this sentence. I never got it from anywhere. I want you to put it in your own words. Okay, try. I want to hear someone talking. The entire air was filled with despair. You don't want to write this using these words, isn't it? You want to write it differently. What would you say? Okay. May you please look for the synonyms of these words. What is the synonym of the word entire? Try now to look for the synonym. Perhaps, what is a synonym? Right, I'll just say here, find the appropriate synonym. Right, so you can just take any two words and then use them. Find appropriate synonyms and just replace. Find appropriate synonyms to replace any two. You can take 2 or 3 words. That's still fine in that statement. Right. You want to define a synonym. Does somebody want to tell us quickly what a synonym is? Because when you're paraphrasing, you certainly have to know what synonyms are. Come, guys. What is synonym? Must I offer 10 rands for a response? Okay, I got 10 rands for a response. Somebody define a synonym. Anyone, you can Google it, it's fine. Who is that one? Is that Kabelo? I see a hand. Sorry, Mpo. Thank you, Mpo. Thank you. Take it, Mpo.
Okay. I don't know. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yes.
Okay. A synonym are words that have the same meaning.
Thank you. Give me examples.
Words that have the same meaning. Examples. Entire. Okay. You can also use the word whole instead of entire.
Thank you. Thank you. So here, so when you are paraphrasing that now, you'll say the whole, right? Can you see that we have changed entire to whole, right? Would you think you can find a word for here? Sometimes it's unnecessary to keep on changing everything. I can still retain the word yeah, it's fine. Okay, I can still retain the word yeah. Okay, now this thing, obviously that verb you cannot replace was, you just leave it like that. Possibly you can replace that I'm saying you cannot replace that helping verb there, that was, but you can replace filled with. Right. Give me, you see filled with. What type of a string of words is this? Is it a phrase or is it a clause? That one, filled with. Okay, it's a clause, it's fine. Can we replace it there? Okay, the whole year was full of. The whole year was full of. Right, now you see, I'm paraphrasing that now. The whole year was full of. Then let's find synonyms for despair. Anyone can give me a synonym for the word despair?
Sadness.
Pardon?
Sadness.
I think I can. What is the spelling? Can you spell it again? I couldn't quite speak that.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Okay, I think there's two people talking. Okay, I'll give this to. I'm trying to see who is talking there. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead. I could hear you.
Sadness.
Is that sadness?
Yes.
Sadness.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Tell me now, do you truly believe that if somebody says despair is sadness, if you checked the synonym from a reputable dictionary, especially the English Oxford Dictionary, it's the one that will give you the best. Yes, sometimes you might say it's not very far there. It's fine, I would say accept it. But sometimes when you are changing and you are not sure of the synonyms that you have used, you may want to check a dictionary and check whether sadness is despair. What is the other word besides sadness when you're despairing? Okay, I'm going to take hopelessness. Hopelessness. Okay, so I'm going to say the whole year was full of hopelessness, or the whole year was full of sadness. I've paraphrased. That is fine. So you see now when you are paraphrasing is normally at a sentence level, right? Somebody also asked about in citation, in text citation. Does somebody want to explain that? Okay, right. So you have said the whole year was full of sadness, right? Who said these words? It's your facilitator, and that facilitator is Mkandla. So you will say, obviously, not while I'm talking like this. You have read from a text, then I'm the author there. So you're going to write the surname, and you say, when did I say this? 2023, right? If you have got a page number, you're going to say maybe page 35. You see what you get after the colon is your page number. So if you are putting this after a citation, like the whole year was full of sadness, or full of hopelessness, please take note, you cannot have capital letters in that sentence. It has to be a small letter. We value punctuation as well. Right, there you go. Right, but you see, you have mentioned and said the whole year was full of sadness or hopelessness. Then you mention the author's name. This is called in-text referencing. But sometimes you might want to put it differently and say, allow me to just delete there. You might want to say, remove these brackets. You see now you put this, if you have paraphrased, and then you want to mention who says that word. Even if you have paraphrased, the idea is not yours. Even if I say it is not easy to attain freedom, and I'm taking that statement from a book that Nelson Mandela wrote. So I'm simply trying to change the words to indicate that I can use my own words. But anyway, you have paraphrased, you put that one there. Right. If you have not paraphrased, you're going to remove those brackets there. Then you say, Ganda 2023. Right. Normally we put brackets there. Write the page number. Then you come in with a strong verb. What was I doing here? I was stating. You might want to say stated. We normally, if we are using a past tense, we're going to use a past tense, but sometimes it's good to use present tense because normally your discussion is contextualized, and this is the present tense, or states that, then you write what I've said. It states that the whole year was full of sadness. Or if you don't want to say stated, you might use other strong verbs. Right, I'm sure we know what a strong verb is. Now you need to know that you can't always be saying here, states that, said that, said. No, we need to vary our strong verbs. Right, I think at this point, because you are also doing this in text citation, I want a definition of a strong verb. You know, a verb is an action word, right? But what is a strong verb? Right, I'm stating. Instead of stating, you could say, he said that. If you don't want to say said, you could say assets. Assets that. If you don't want to say assets, if you want to sound highly educated, postulates, kind of postulates, please don't use this word. Sometimes it's a problem. You know, I know some of you will be using them and abusing them. Some people would say laments. Now, if it's a lamentation, it has to be really, really a lamentation. Okay, can I have a few strong verbs that you can use when you are doing an in-text citation? I'm going to allow that short activity for strong verbs. Please don't use the ones that I have said. Just give me your own strong verbs. I'm keeping quiet for the next 4 minutes. I'll say to you, strong verbs that can be used, when making an in-text citation. We are not going to say said. Can you imagine an assignment that keeps on saying, this one said, this one said, this one said, Jones 2014 said, Peters 2014 said, Mang 2012 said. This is no, it's boring. Let's vary our strong verbs. Okay, can I just get a few that you will give me? 4 minutes. Let's just get used to that. 4 minutes. You may want to write them on a piece of paper. Then I'll come back to you in 4 minutes. It's 18:32 now. I'll be back at 18:36. I'll ask you to give me some of those strong verbs. Thank you. Okay, Mpo, I'm listening. I think my mic was off there. It's fine. Okay, I'm saying I think you had enough time to submit. May you please give me the few words that you have used? Any, you may raise your hand. Let me hear your answers. Can I nominate anyone? Right, Mpo, your hand is up. Give me your verbs. Okay. I'm still waiting. Even if it's one, I'll accept. Ntabi saying? Okay, I see that hand. Joel?
Okay, so for me, I'd say acknowledge, admit, and argue.
Thank you. Well done. Right. So you might want to be saying, so and so argues. What is the other one?
It's acknowledge, admit, or argue, sir.
So you can use any of those. There are quite a number. There are quite a number. But now you got to know the function. What is that person actually saying? I mean, what is the function of that statement? Are they commenting? Because you can say they comment or they suggest. Other words that you can use is words like suggest. Right. So and so suggest that. And you write, I think you have given me yours argues. So argued is fine, whether it's past tense, argued that. And it's always followed by the word that. Then you write what they say. You might want to say, believes. Because you can indicate that somebody believes that. Whatever. Remember, you are simply stating what that person does, believes, or I normally appreciate the one saying asserts or proposes. Right. There are many of them. So when you are doing an in-text citation, you certainly need to go back to these strong verbs and show that you have done it. So I'm sure I've addressed that issue of a paraphrase, of an incitation, sorry, text in citation, right? In other words, you are, I mean, in-text citation, in-text citation, which means you are citing within the text. Of course, at the end of it all, I've always mentioned it, that when you are done, you now come to the end here and you say references. Okay, that you need to do. And what are those references? I've done this before. You now write the full name of, normally after writing a name like that, if you are going to be using what we call full name, comma, and initial, and title. What was I arguing about? What was I saying? Now you write the title. Maybe you might now want to say, maybe I was arguing, say maybe the text could be history. Right, I'm just giving it some touch of a line. Southern African history. But of course, you remove these underlinings there. We are not going to get it underlined, because now this is going to create a situation that people, if you underline unnecessarily, then it's a problem. Let me just remove the underlining. Okay, Galda J. But if you choose to underline the tiger, if you choose to underline the tiger, then all the tigers will have to be underlined. If you have underlined, if you say, right, all tigers, normally it's good to just come to a tiger here, yes, and then you underline the tiger, right, but not the name, right? Then after that, you put your editor. So no, not editor, sorry. You put the city, okay? That's where this text was published, in Pretoria. You put a colon. Maybe the text is fun. Done. That's how you have referenced at the end. We call these references, but the references is those articles that you cited in the text. This color that you write here must be cited in text. You cannot say these are references if you are mentioning authors which you have not cited in there. Or preferably, you might want to use the word bibliography. Bibliography. Now, what is bibliography? This has to do with all the articles that you read. Maybe you use the word bibliography. Now, this suggests work that you have cited and work that you have not cited. So in terms of accuracy, would prefer you to use the word references. If you go bibliography now, it means there must be many sources there. You cannot just have one source or two sources for an academic assignment. I hope I've answered them. Paul, your hand is up. Paul, Masemula, your hand is up. May you please put it down. I'm waiting for that hand. If ever it's an old hand, let me know. But if it's a current hand.
It's an old hand, so I don't know how can I put it down.
Oh, you go to, you see where it says raise. You will see there is chat, then there is people, then there is a hand that is raised. Click it. Click that raise. Thank you. The hand has gone down. That's appreciated. Good. Right. Then we are fine there. We are okay. So that was what we had in terms of indicating the issues there. Are there any other matters before we start now just discussing our reading approaches? Because we need to get to that stage where we once again indicate how we can read an article. I have done this before, okay? Remember now, our focus today is on reading. Now, you will understand that you read different types of texts using a different approach. Now, obviously, this would be far different. I'm just going to highlight these texts here and say, these are your academic texts. Okay. How do you read these academic texts? You read them, let me put them in a different color, right? It's quite different, possibly, from the way you are going to read, for example, a newspaper. Somebody's driving there. Please put your mic off. Right. The way you read a newspaper, the way you would perhaps read a magazine, or possibly the way you are going to. Okay, a minute, I'm looking for that now. Right, the way you would read, maybe. Let's just come. You have read poems before. Right. I want us to discuss here, what is the difference here? What is the difference in our reading approach for these articles? You have got a journal. How would you read that journal? How is it different from reading a newspaper? Can I get a hand? I'm waiting. You have been reading this before. Okay, any comment is fine. How is it different? How do you read a journal article? Okay, possibly, what is a journal article? Right, normally these are scholarly articles that you would download from my Unisa. Then they are purely for academic purposes. But when you are reading a newspaper, you would appreciate that usually the language of the newspaper, or what you call the vocabulary or the diction of a newspaper, is not academic, right? Usually the newspaper would use accessible language, very simple words, non-specialized words. There's no jargon in newspapers, unless maybe you are reading a classified article that has been written maybe for a specific audience, or maybe some review, because some newspapers would have reviews of academic or scholarly issues. But I'm just talking about when you are reading a newspaper about a soccer match, right? It's just a report about a soccer match. You would appreciate that the language is simple and straightforward. But now when you're reading through, you'd appreciate that you just take a newspaper, you scan through. You can't read all the words in a newspaper, you'll scan through. You don't have to underline or highlight anything in the newspaper. Why? Because you are not going to be doing any scholarly analysis of a newspaper. Right, having said that, can somebody comment how you read a journal? Anyone? I'm still listening. I'm waiting for responses. All right, I just want to ask here, can you see my Google there? Can somebody say yes, they see my screen there, because I want to be satisfied that at least we are on the same page.
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Oh, perfect, perfect.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, right. Okay, here I'm going to go to Google Scholar. Because we said that's the site that we're going to use. Okay. So when I get to Google Scholar, I will get that then what will that say? Say maybe I have got, because our emphasis today is on reading skills. And now you are searching for a journal, because there must be a point where you start searching for a journal. You have read an assignment question, and that assignment question has got keywords. I'm just going to use general words here. Maybe your assignment says, discuss the education system of South Africa before 1994. So when you come here now, obviously, you don't have to write the word discuss. So the keywords there is going to be education, because you are now searching for that word. I see education system, right, education system in South Africa pre 1994. Right, these are what I'm going to call keywords when you are searching. Sometimes you can use a few, because here I've just done quite a long sentence, but this one certainly will give me a good indication. Now, there I come across a lot of these, and these are in PDF format. Most of them are all in PDF format. Then you quickly say, I want them. You can look at this side. This is the year, whether you want only for 2023. If you want to be as current, you want people that have written in 2023, or you want from 2019. Sometimes, you know, because we insist that you must cite articles that are very relevant or recent. So we'll say take maybe since 2019. I have clicked since 2019. There I go. I have my articles there. Then you quickly look at the top, the headings there. This is the basic. This is the entry level on Google Scholar. Then you say public. You can see this one. I'm just going to take this one. Then I'll highlight it. There I come to that abstract. Normally, a journal will have an abstract. Right, I asked, how do you read a journal? You don't read it like a newspaper. You go to the abstract. No, so the abstract basically is a central idea of how that journal is structured in terms of its approach. If it was based on a research, it is going to give you the research, how it was done, what was found, and the implications. But more often than not, you go to the PDF document. The PDF document would allow you, but now take note now, sometimes these articles would require you to pay. You can see now that here they are referring to payment, which you cannot do because you are a Unisa student. You are entitled to these sources without having to pay for them. So I would, if I were you and I liked this one, I would quickly save the title. Then I'll take it through now to my Unisa and search for it there. Right, before I proceed, is there anyone who has done an online search of articles who wants to share his or her knowledge about online search before I continue. Because I've just started something now, which is going to be your lifelong approach to academics, right? You may raise your hand and comment and say you have done this before. You want to show others how you search for academic articles online. Last time we said there is no need nowadays to visit a library. Everything we do online. So the internet is there and the technology is there to make life relatively easier. Right, hands up those that have done an online search of articles. Before I'm going to go back to that Google Scholar one. I'll search for the ones that do open. But I want to ask now because we will go now to my Unisa. Right, you realize that this thing requires you to pay. If you try to get it, you say, okay, I'm not going to get that one. So you now go back to the one that allows you to just scroll through without having to pay. But anyway, let's go to my Unisa. Because you have got my Unisa and you have to make use of the online resources that you have there. Then I'll just go back to Google Scholar. I'll check my Unisa later. Right, let's see if I can get another article that doesn't require me to pay. I want to follow my keywords. Transformation PDF, there you go. I highlight that one. It's actually still better than walking to the library. I'm doing my own search. I'm using my own keywords. I get a lot of articles. Some of them require me to pay if I'm using Google because I'm not on my Unisa website. So it's a problem because if you're not on the Unisa website, then you are a stranger to this. But it's not a problem. We will go to my Unisa very soon. Let's just wait for this one. It's still taking time, but it will open hopefully. And I want to get it as a PDF and then hopefully indicate how you are going to read it. Right, remember now, once you have obtained this article, sometimes you don't have to read everything there. Sometimes you might realize that what you're reading is not what you're looking for. Although you have done a good search with so many words, so many keywords that you keep on changing, you might still find that this is not what you're looking for. So you discard until you come to what really satisfies your quest. I said it last time that when you are searching for these texts, you search them with keywords in mind. Right, when you have searched for the right text, you're now going to find the right approach to reading it. Right, so now you get that as your text, but now it's that's a dissertation. Right, now you see this is a dissertation. You read it differently from the way, like I've said, now you have to look for the specific page. Challenge with dissertations, sometimes it needs you to quickly look at the contents and what you are specifically looking for, but I'll just go down there. Okay, right. Say maybe I get to this part. Maybe this is what I'm looking for. Right, so when you talk about annotation, now you get to this part. Now you must now get your tools of analysis there. You can now use your highlighter, right? maybe you have found something here that you want to cite. So there is, for example, you want that text. I'm just going to highlight that text. You can see now, I highlight that text. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to cite. Then you now find a way maybe of possibly, you see, annotation means you can write here. Maybe you might want to just say, right, what was happening here? You read this whole paper text here. Then here you just write a single word. Maybe, like I said, is the Government of National Unity. So here you might be writing your GNU. Sorry, I'm typing with the mouse here. It's not that fun, but I'm just showing you how you do the annotation, right? There is an eraser there. Okay. So here I want to indicate that the theme here is GNU, right? So you keep on going on. You have got a lot of tools that you can use here to do the annotation. Sometimes you might want to put just a star to say this is the main point. I'm going to follow this one, right? So when you have done that now, remember I said you will read and then you do annotation. Annotation means you dissect the text, right? You select relevant parts of this which you downloaded. You highlight. Sometimes this is where now you start making comment. Maybe a comment you might indicate that maybe in your essay you were saying, okay, I'm going to look at something that is pro-democracy. Sorry, maybe given maybe you are looking at Bantu education. I'm just giving an example. If ever there is such a thing, you're now going to come here and just say this was the Bantu. Sorry, my mic there. Right. This was the Bantu education. You write it there. After doing all those annotations on that text, you now save it. You save it here. If you can save it as a USB in your USB, or if you don't want to save it, you can straight away take your citations and paraphrase them. Now, let's come now to this part where you're going to say, okay, you see, so you can take this link, this one. You can see that link there. You copy that link. Okay. So that link has been copied. Now you are referencing this. But you would notice now that when you are referencing, this is a dissertation. You're going to start now, obviously, with the name of the author who wrote that article. So this person is Mapula Rosina Lehodi. So Mapula becomes your first, you write Mapula here. That comes first, but you don't write it in capitals. Mapula, you're just gonna write capital M small. Then these two words is RL, these ones, RL. So you leave Rosina, if you are going to write in full, then it must be consistent, but it's going to be Mapula RL. Then the title follows. Now you write this title there after Mapula. In fact, just before you do that, you write the year in which this was published. You just say 2001. Let me just go back there. So you're going to say Mapula RL, then put brackets 2001. Then you write the title. This is your title, okay? Then after writing the title, you would indicate that this is a dissertation in the University of South Africa. Right, but now let's just go back here and indicate something of importance. something there. Don't forget, to make your life easier, you're going to go back there. Okay, right. So it's this one that I saw. Here it says cite. Okay, let me try. Which one is this one? Is this one? I think cite. Right. You'll see now there's different citation methods. I hope that thing is clear. Otherwise, I'm just going to quickly. I want the Harvard one. Then I copy it as it is. Then after copying it as it is, I take it to Word document. Okay, I'll just have to put it back. Just keep holding there. I'm now showing you how I just hold there. I'm just going to write it here so that you don't have to stress with a lot of issues when you are citing. You just get it there and then you paste it in Word. I copied it like that. Then I paste it. Okay, and let me just, I'll use the right font. Just be patient. Right, I'm sure you noticed that I looked at Mapula, Lihodi. Okay, now, so, okay, apparently Lihodi in this case is the surname, but it's fine. Lihodi, they've taken Lihodi there as the surname and MR as the initials. I hope that slide is clear there. Right. They have taken Lihodi, then MR, then 2001, then there is the title, then doctoral dissertation, University of South Africa, like that. Then you say here, accessed online at, remember that link that I said you copy and paste, right? Actually that link, okay, I was supposed to remember that link, right? You put that link here, the one that you copied before, right? I just messed up then, put this one here, it's fine. But there's a link here, right? You paste the link here. Right, online at, let me just go back there again, at HTTP, then you write that link. Right, then you might also want to include the date, right? Then you say 23 or 30, what is the date today? 28th, let's say 28th of August. And then this was 23. Right, you can see that you managed to obtain a reference directly, and that reference was your Harvard style of referencing. But now take note now that you can see that there is a comma here. That's an initial. That's a full stop after an initial. That's another initial. That's a full stop. That's a comma. So if you are doing it like this, all of them will have the comma, the full stop, the comma, the year, the full stop, Then the transformation of, if you are like this one, you can see they did not underline it here. What they did here, they just sort of indented it. So if you are going to indent this, then it means everything is indented until the end. Right, so that was searching your article from Google Scholar. Are there any questions there about what I've done on Google Scholar? Or suggestions?
I no longer recall the primary reason why we got here. I just wanted to find out, is this the way you wanted to show us how we must reference?
Our focus today is reading strategies. Now, first you must search the articles.
Okay.
Online, because we must know where we are getting the articles from. So I started by going to Google Scholar. Then we can now quickly go to my Unisa. But now I want comments on how I have searched on Google Scholar based on what you saw me doing. I go to Google Scholar with keywords. I write them there, and then I search. Then I look for the year. Then I get the year. Then I try to get them on what do you call it? On PDF. Okay. So when I've gotten them on PDF, I read. Then I can highlight the main points. Then I save those files that I read. Then when I want to do a citation, if I got it from Google Scholar, I go to Cite. Then I copy and I paste that entire citation. So because I got it online, I also include a link, because there's a link there that will take us to that specific text. So you put that HTTP and then you indicate the date on which you accessed the article. Okay, I'm not sure there whether you are fine, because that's how possibly you will start to search for academic texts on Google Scholar. Why do I choose Google Scholar? It refers you to the citation. Okay, it takes you to a citation. Okay, thank you, Mpo. I'm just getting your comment on how you search. The way I searched and how you do it. How are you finding it? Are you going to adopt what I'm suggesting? That's all I'm asking. So that was what we did in terms of obtaining our articles from Google Scholar. Okay, now we're going to try and quickly go to my Unisa. Okay, so at my Unisa, you will certainly need to have your my Unisa login details. Okay, so we come here, and I wish you could try this now. After I have instructed you, you are going to try this one. Let's see, you write your student number there, right? Do you guys have your laptops with you? If you can find a way of writing it, okay, it's fine. I'll indicate here with there you write your student number, and you put your password there. Fine, this one is being rejected. I hope yours will go through. Okay, so you will get to that page. Okay, so now you have logged into your My Unisa, but now obviously you want to get to the library. Right, so you'll notice that in that library, there is quite a lot of portals. Okay, so now you will quickly decide, where am I going to go and where am I searching? So you can literally search here where it says search Unisa resources, right? Put the keywords. You can quickly find e-reserves. Right here, you can write down maybe the material for the program that you are using, whether it's a module, you write here. Maybe you want to do this one, the module code. You write the module code there. Then you say submit. Then here you can see it will just take you straight to prescribed books. Then you hit it there. But of course, once that happens, you are now literally borrowing that book from the library. Right, you can now decide and say which book and where. This is, like I said last time, we are just going to do a bit of library orientation. So it depends now on where you want it. You say, okay, this book is available. Where is it? It's Port Elizabeth Study Collection. It's Durban Reserved Collection. It's Johannesburg Collection. You now hit that shelf. Then you now click there. And then now you order that book, right? You can now order this book there, and then it can come to you on after you have ordered it online. Now, I just went into a link. You can also come here where it says my library, then book request, article request. So if you want a specific article, you're going to hit the article request, then you type the topic or the heading of that specific article. But you need to get your login details there. That article is going to come, and then after the article has come, you just decide to save it as a PDF. Then you can read it there. Okay, let's see other options on the library. All right, just another one that I need to give you. So you can come to this and you just say training here. You hit the training button, then you can be slotted to say you can attend a training service on various websites that you can go through here. Okay, let me just come to this one, e-publication. Okay, right. Now you see this is journals, books, and more. So you will decide now, I am in what field, okay? So you can use to search with this one, ProQuest, or you can use to do any of these that is listed there, okay? Then let me see. I would say maybe I'll just choose a letter E there. Say maybe with me, I'm more towards education. Now you type your discipline now, depending on what you are searching. Okay. There you go now. I have an article there that I have seen. I have to look up that article. You see now I have come to a range of articles here from various databases. So what will happen now, when I get to these databases, I'm going to click on that specific article, and then I put the year for that specific article, and then I'm going to reference it. Also with referencing, you will be given the referencing style right on my Unisa there. Like I've indicated, you will now look for journals, books, etc. Then you get to that database. You hit the name of the database. There's different names here. Others will start with business, economics, etc. So these are the subjects. Okay. So like I would have clicked languages. Okay. So after clicking that, you find that there's quite a lot of various languages that come. I'm like, okay, maybe I clicked English language. It's just that this thing is searching slowly and it's taking my time. Right, when I get that, the article will literally be downloaded there. You can see here is the articles coming there. Okay, so I can open this article, and if it's a book, I can, where possible, read it online. If it is a journal article, I can download it and save it. Right, you'll notice that you need to be reading these books directly there online. And as you read these books, you are also doing what you call annotation, you are paraphrasing, you are selecting what you want for your specific assignment. But let me repeat, for you to do this successfully, you must have an active My Unisa account as a registered student. So most of these will come easily when you do your search on My Unisa, and specifically on the library. Okay, so just that the search was very slow. I would have wanted to go on different websites and then just select these texts directly and show them there. But basically what you're doing, you come here, there is the library. Okay, click on the library. Then after you have clicked on the library, you now go to different, you're looking for different websites. But sometimes you can search that catalog and just write the keywords that you are looking for. The text will come to you directly, and then you will download it, then you will read it. As you read it, you're going to annotate it. So when I'm saying annotation, I'm talking about writing in a sort of making notes on what you are reading, making comments on what you are reading at that particular point in time. Okay, so what we basically tried to do today, which is an academic skill, which I trust that most of us certainly need to have, the ability to look for texts, right? So in a summary, we look for texts from reliable sources. Now, what are these reliable sources? We're talking about Google Scholar. We use our keywords, we put them there, we select the text that we want, we save it, we go to the text, we highlight key points, we annotate, we write what we need, we select specific words, then we reference them. As we reference them, if it is an in-text referencing, we cite, right? Like I indicated, the citation, where you start with the initial, you write, so you start with the surname, but you leave the initial in text. But when you are writing at the end of the references, you are going to write the surname and followed by the initials. So in the in text, we are not putting the initials, we just write the surname. Right. So we also need to have that ability to reference online text. So what I'm going to ask now, in our next tutorial, we are going to keep on improving this skill of searching for academic articles. I only introduced it today, but my laptop is searching very slowly. I'll see next time whether it is going to be searching relatively faster. I want to ask you in this point to search. You are going to do an academic search. This is your activity that I'm going to ask you to remain doing on my Unisa. If you have got active internet connection, right? Do an academic search. I'm trying to write it here, just be patient. Right, do an academic search for the following assignment topic. Okay, South Africa, should reintroduce capital punishment in order to reduce high levels of murder. Right. So what you will do now, you're going to search and reference at least 3 articles, right? Search and reference at least 3 articles from Google Scholar and my Unisa. So you search from my Unisa as well. Right. I'm going to ask you to carry out this activity as an assignment. When we meet in our next tutorial, we will be looking at how we searched for these articles. Right. So you do an academic search for the following assignment topic. South Africa, reintroduce capital. I don't want you to write an essay. I just want you to search for these articles. Right. Let's see. We're going to start with the keywords. What are the keywords here? May you tell me from that topic? I'm listening. Because when you are searching, we are going to search using keywords. What are the main words here in this topic? You may raise your hand. Ah, no response. Oh, thank you, Paul. Talk. What are the keywords when you are searching here?
Capital punishment.
Okay, thank you. So you are going to say capital punishment. So I'm going to highlight that capital punishment. And which one?
High levels of murder.
Yes. Then you say levels of murder. Or even, sometimes you can even just have murder.
Sharp.
You can even have the word murder. Right. You also need, don't forget South Africa, so that your articles can be more localized. Otherwise, you'll end up getting articles from America. Yeah, okay. And also this very word, reintroduce, this one is important. Right. So I said, I want at least 3 articles. Right. Now from these 3 articles, can I get 1 journal? Can I get maybe a research paper? You can also get any online article. Right. At least maybe, yeah, an online article, the one that you get from online. You just say, okay, this is an online article, then you reference the website. Right, here it's more of internet-based search. Can I ask who is going to present this one for me next time? Who thinks they can even do it much better? Who thinks they can do a much better job? You may suggest now, tomorrow, or in our next class, you'll be sharing. Remember, it's just searching and sharing. Can I get a volunteer? But your student number must be active. You know, they say we learn to do something by acting on it. If we don't act on it, we don't learn. You will notice that you need to develop these academic search skills for the articles that you're going to read, and also be able to annotate, read them appropriately. Okay, I don't know, I must just choose somebody. Please volunteer at least. You are okay, at least you search for one article. Will that be fine? Who wants to just search at least for one online from my Unisa or from Google Scholar? Okay, then I will have to present, but I'll be asking you questions on that. But I would have appreciated if you wanted us to do a presentation. Then finally, we are about to conclude now. Our focus today, I hope it did show you something in terms of your academic writing skills. So the major focus of today's tutorial was to look at how you read. You're reading an academic article quite differently from other materials. An academic article must be read more than once. You need to be very current. You download recent articles, and these recent articles that you are downloading must be coming from credible websites. And I think one of the most credible websites is your databases on my Unisa. So now it's time to go to the Unisa databases and start collecting as many texts as possible that are related to your modules. Also, learn to order the books directly online. You can actually get a lot from your online library at my Unisa. We will keep on referring to this search for articles on the library. But once you have searched and gotten the applications, sorry, the articles that you need, what you will do now is to save them on some file. I know someone would save it on a USB, but nowadays the USB is no longer that fashionable. You might want to save it on a drive, whether it's Microsoft Drive, you save it online. You might want to save it on Google Drive, okay? So there's so many places where you can save what you have been reading. Then as you read, you highlight, then you take bits of text from what you have read, and then you put it in your own words, which you called paraphrasing. But still, what you paraphrased, you write the author's names at the end of what you paraphrased, and you put it in brackets. I did demonstrate that. Then the way in which you read an academic article, such as a journal, you quickly look at the thesis statement. You quickly look at the introduction. Sometimes other journals, they've got very, very unfamiliar language, especially language that has to do with research methodology. If you are not very familiar and interested in those research methodologies, it's advisable to quickly, just move to the conclusion and maybe the main discussion where they were discussing their findings. If it is a research article, you quickly read about the findings and the conclusion. Then you just summarize that and you put it in your own words. Then you cite that. So remember, you cannot keep on citing the same text in an assignment. You will need to vary your sources. So if you have already cited a source, you cannot repeat it else. I mean, you cannot keep on citing one person in paragraph 1, you cite them again in paragraph 2, cite them again in paragraph 3. Remember, this is a practical module. You need to be hands-on. You certainly need to start now downloading articles, saving them, following them up, paraphrasing where necessary, annotating where necessary, and selecting a few sentences that you are going to cite. There is what we call a direct citation and an indirect citation. I'm going to ask you to do that. That's my next focus when we start. What is a direct citation and an indirect citation? So, and how effective are direct citations? How effective are indirect citations? But you'll appreciate now that we prefer an indirect citation. An indirect citation is that paraphrasing that we discussed. Ladies and gentlemen, I think today's focus on reading should have assisted one or two of you to learn to interact with an academic article and read it appropriately. I think in my concluding remarks, I can say before we call it a day, maybe I can get feedback from you in terms of what was done well, what was not clear, so that in our next tutorial, we begin from there. I have 2 minutes, then we are coming to the end of this tutorial for today. Right, feedback, strengths, challenges, and projections.
I liked when you showed us how to access our e-reserves, how to request books. I used to go about it the longest way ever, but your way has been it shows like it's the easiest way to go.
Oh, thank you. Though my search engine was very slow, I wasn't impressed with the way it was slow. And also, you could have picked that my Unisa login details, because I'm not a student, because I wanted to search from a student account. So when I tried searching from a student account, it did not give me that required databases. But in my next tutorial, I'll try and search with a valid student account. Then I'll be taking you through how, I mean, different, because that's how you search for those articles, and then you save them, and possibly how we can populate our references as well, because it looks like this referencing, you know, tends to be a tricky thing. Take note now that sometimes with referencing, you can just populate your references without you stressing about name, surname, initial, full stop, title, etc. That is a spontaneous or a sort of an easy process, an automatic process that is available if you are using online sources. You don't stress with referencing if you are using online sources. You stress with referencing if you are buying or you are taking a book from someone and that book has got pages that are missing. I know I still have to clarify and do quite a lot of practice in this regard, but with that short assignment I have assigned you, I hope you're going to start the search, which is just doing a search. Okay, thank you very much there, Gertrude. I appreciate your gratitude there. Right, any other person? Concerns? Remember now, you are evaluating this. Did I do a good job? If I did not do a good job, you tell me, go back to this explanation, sir. Go back to that demonstration. You know what? I'm not here to say I'm just, you know, teaching and you guys follow. You give me feedback as well. If it's a thumbs up, you can now search and you are happy, you go and search for those articles. In our next tutorial, I'm going to be saying, so and so, let's see, how did you search? Can we give you an opportunity to share? You share your screen, you take them down to the remember, we are now technology driven. There is no way we are going to ignore technology. We need to be technologically oriented. Ladies and gentlemen, let's use the internet. Let's get our articles, because if you terminate your studies and you're no longer a Unisa member, you will realize that all the privileges that you were given at Unisa will be gone. But if you start downloading all those articles now whilst you are still a Unisa member, you keep them somewhere, maybe in iCloud, in your iCloud, you keep them somewhere in whatever folder, online folders that you prefer. Then it becomes your permanent source of information. other than always buying. After all, we cannot buy everything. The internet is there to assist. Right, I know I want to believe that learning is a continuous process. We keep on learning every day. Today, I trust that we tried something. We moved from step 1, and possibly we are 3 steps from where we were. In our next tutorial, we will continue discussing and fine-tuning our academic work. In the absence of contributions, may I declare this tutorial over for today, and may you have the best of the remaining evening.